Hi friends, it's me, Deanna, and welcome to another doll repaint video. So I'm really excited today because I can finally share with you guys that this video is going to be a multi-artist collaboration. Me and several other artists from around the world decided to create dolls based on different legendary and mythical Pokemon. Now, I'll be honest, I had a really hard time deciding which Pokemon to do for this collab because I definitely had a kind of gotta make them all mindset, and I've been kind of out of the Pokemon loop for a while, so looking at all the new Pokemon kind of had me going. But while I was thinking about concepts for my doll, I kept coming back to the Pokemon Regigigas. He's this large, formidable Pokemon who's the creator of the legendary Titans. So Reggie can be a little moody and destructive at times. But there's just something about his awkward golem-like body that I find really cute. Awkward, recognize awkward. So I'm going to be creating a sort of cosplay streetwear inspired Regigigas doll, who I'll be calling Reggie from now on. We've got a lot to cover today, so enough talking, let's get started. For today's doll, I turned to my supply stash and decided to go with this Ashlynn Ella After High doll. I decided to go with an Ever After High doll because I think their large facial features fit well into the world of large anime-style features found in Pokemon. To prep our doll for repainting, I've cut her hair down and I'll be softening the plastic of her head by soaking it in boiling hot water. This will let me pop her head off and let me get at all those old hair plugs with my forceps tool. Next, I'm coming in with some pure acetone to remove the old factory face paint, which will give me a blank canvas for me to repaint later. For the next bit of prep, I'm painting her scalp in two different colors. I plan on giving her green and white hair later, and painting her scalp with acrylic paint will make it so her hair doesn't look patchy if there's any gaps between the new hair wefts that I'll be adding. After the paint has dried, I'm going to seal everything in with 3 coats of Mr. Super Clear sealant to make sure the plastic of her skin gets a nice papery surface. Today, we're gonna start by jumping right in on the face-up. I like to start my facial transformations by applying a few different color zones that lay under the skin. These are referred to as the subdermal color zones, and these 3 colors represent the appearance of blood, muscle, and bone under the skin. For this layer, I'll be using red, blue, and yellow soft pastels. After sealing the subdermal colors in, off camera, I added 3 layers of base skin tone color using more of my soft pastels. And now I want to give the skin more of a textured appearance, which I'll do by spritzing on watered down acrylic paint. Now that we have some texture on the skin, we want to come in and start adding some shadows and highlights to make the skin look 3-dimensional. We're really trying to create the illusion that the doll's skin is real and not just plastic, so it's important to make certain planes of her face recede with dark brown shades and come forward using a lighter color. Now for the eye details. I mixed a nude pink color to build up the different parts of the eyes and eyelids. Right now, I'm focusing on creating the water lines and tear ducts of the eyes, and as I keep working, I'll use different colors of acrylic paint to outline and define parts of the eye sockets. Up next, I want to add some details to the eyelids, so using a thin liner brush, I'm adding some crease lines. As I keep working, I'll darken these lines in some areas and add touches of highlights near the creases. For the pupils, I've decided to give her pinkish red eyes. Reggie has 3 different sets of eyes on their torso, one of which is red, so I decided to use red again because it will harmonize with all of the green that will be a part of her whole ensemble later. For the eyelashes, using some black acrylic paint, I'm going for a chunkier cartoonish application to the upper lashes. After applying the catch-light details, I've decided that I don't want to have flat-looking eyelashes, so to give the appearance of individual lashes, I'm going to add some white lash lines. This will break the lashes up a bit. The eyes are done for now, and the next area we're going to focus on are her eyebrows. I've blocked them in using a brown watercolor pencil, and now I'm starting to draw in the individual hairs. Using just one shade of brown makes them look way too flat, so I want to deepen the look of the brows using a black pencil. This will help define the shape of the brow. Next, let's jump down to the lips. I'm applying thin layers of rose pink acrylic paint to give her a punched up nude lip. For this doll, I'm going for like a tinted lip balm appearance. Then, I'm taking a darker pinky brown color to define the inner line of the mouth and to shape the upper lip to give it a poutier appearance. To give the lips a glossy illusion, I'm going to add a highlight to the upper lip and give her bottom lip some lip lines. Okay, so I've sealed in my painted layers, and after the sealant dried, I spent some time looking at her, and I've decided that I need to push the contouring of her face. To do that, I'll be using my pan pastels again and a couple of different shades of brown. And she needed way more blush to give her a nice rosy glow. For the final touch, I'm going to be using some Sculpey gloss to make her lips and eyes shimmer. Now, let's move on to start creating the outfit. Right now, she doesn't really read as Regigigas, like, at all. She's just kind of a cute girl. But I want her to embody Regigigas through the use of streetwear, more specifically, Japanese street fashion. There are so many different subgenres to Japanese street fashion, but I was particularly drawn to these Harajuku-esque outfits, which consist of oversized sweater dresses with lots of layers. Reggie is a gigantic Pokemon, so I'm going with a similarly styled outfit as a nod to its long arms and formidable size. For her outfit, I want to make her a really oversized sweater dress using a knit fabric that's really chunky but also works on a small scale. Unfortunately, my local fabric store did not have a fabric that fit my vision, but luckily for me, I have this bad boy, a knitting machine. This bad boy has made me quite a few ugly hats, but today we're going to use it to lean into my perfectionist impulses by making my own fabric. So using my machine, I created a panel of knitted fabric for her long sweater dress. You can see that towards the middle I dropped some stitches, but that's alright, I can fortunately arrange my pattern pieces around it. I've traced around the pattern pieces, but before I cut the pieces out, I want to make sure that the knit fabric doesn't unravel. To prevent this, I'll be stitching all along the perimeter of each piece right next to the line where I'll be cutting. Here we've jumped into the future, and I've cut the pieces out while keeping those stitches intact. Now it's just a matter of sewing the arms to the bodice of the dress per usual. Next, I want to add yellow trim to the sleeves of the arms. Reggie has these yellow rings at the ends of their arms right before the hands, and since I'm using a knit fabric, I'm creating a folded over cuff because I don't want to add anything that would be too heavy and stretch out the fabric. The nice thing about folding it over the chunky knit is that the knit will give the yellow fabric some volume, which will make it look more ring-like. To give the dress a more finished look, I've gone ahead and made my own bias tape, which I'll sew onto the hem of the dress so that we have a nice finished hemline. For the next step, I'm hand stitching on some stuffed crescent shapes that I made to look like the rings that go around Reggie's shoulders. I was nervous that they wouldn't stand up on their own and kind of flap over, but I was able to secure them tightly to the shoulders and they are happily staying in place. Next, Reggie has what appears to be 3 sets of eyes on its torso. Naturally, this doll wouldn't be Reggie without them, so I'm going to be using these safety doll eyes to create my own for the sweater. Once the white has dried, I'll be coming in with different colors of acrylic paint and giving each eye a couple layers, making sure they have smooth and even coverage. Now that that's done, for each eye, I'll be giving them an ovalish shaped pupil. Next, to make them shiny, just like our doll's eyes, they'll also be getting a coat of Sculpey Gloss. Looking at Reggie, you'll see that each eye is lined in black, kind of like cat eyeliner. To give mine the same appearance, I'm wrapping each eye with black cording and pinching them at the sides so that they have a similar winged look. And finally, I couldn't help myself. I just had to give each of them a little catch light because of course I did. Moving on, Reggie has stripes on its body, which I've already mimicked in the neck and hemlines, but I want to add the actual stripes to the rest of the body. I've made these stripes out of a thicker felt because Reggie's are 3-dimensional and I wanted mine to pop. Off camera, I made her a pair of simple white tights, and now I'm also going to be adding a pair of stripes just above her knees. Okay, I've gone ahead and closed up the back of the dress, and now that it's complete, I think we should put it on her so she can feel warm and snuggly while we work on the rest of the doll. Okay, now we're going to tackle the hair, and for a while I kind of struggled trying to figure out what kind of hairstyle to give our doll because it's not like Regigigas has hair, it just kind of has like mossy shoulders. After thinking about it for a while, I decided to pay homage to the anime genre by giving our doll big spiky hair. And by big spiky hair, I mean I'm the main character of the show, Big Spiky Hair. To give her the spiky hair that I desire, I'm going to be using yarn wefts today. And I'm trying out a new technique of sewing the ends of the wefts to keep them together instead of using glue to give me a little bit more control. I'm using green as the bottom layer of the hair as a nod to the moss that's on Reggie's shoulders. And for this part, I'm just going to be moving up from the bottom, gluing on row by row until we get to the crown of her head. Now that we've made our way up to the crown of the head, I want to set in her part line. When I add a part line using yarn wefts, I do this folding method that creates a line without having the edges of the weft show. I don't think I can do this technique properly with the sewn wefts, so for this part, I'm going to clip the yarn free of the stitches and glue it on in the opposite direction of where I want the hair to fall. Here, I'm flipping the hair over, and I'll repeat this process on the other side of her head. All the wefts are in, and now I'm going to start creating the anime spikes. At first, they're going to be really long and exaggerated, but right now I'm really just trying to figure out the placement and the basic shape of them. Now that I've got a general idea of what I want, next I'm coming in with my scissors and cutting them down to the length that I want, and reforming those spikes with glue. Now that all the spikes are belonging to us and her head is back on her body, the only thing left to do is glue on her little Reggie mask. Here is our finished Regigigas doll. I had so much fun working on the concepts for this doll, trying to figure out how to take a huge humanoid but not humanoid looking Pokemon and translating that into doll form. I'm really happy with how the knitted dress turned out, and I think it really harmonizes Reggie's actual design with my streetwear vision. It was also a lot of fun being able to make my own fabric for this project, and that's something I hope to continue to play with in the future. With her painted on facial features and spiky hair, I feel like I accomplished the anime style I was going for, which is definitely a different aesthetic than I've done in the past. But, of course, I want to know what you think of my doll. Comment below and let me know if you think I captured the Regigigas spirit. I'm so happy that I got to be a part of this collaboration. This group of artists are so incredibly talented, so be sure to check out their dolls, which I've linked in the description below. And if you're new to my channel and you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. This is still a relatively small channel, and your support really helps my channel grow. Alright, Reggie and I are gonna go chill with the Titans, but I will see you next time with another doll repaint video. Bye!